Um, testing, testing, should be live. So, we are live. Um, Hello? Hi, everyone. Okay, we live. So I had a little bit of challenge setting up this live stream. For some reason, Restream didn't pick up my mic, so I had to restart the stream. So I'm glad everything is working fine now, and we can easily just jump right into it. And yeah, so before we, sorry, yeah, so basically we have this live stream that we used to hold, which is called like Let's Talk Contributing. And if you've already seen some of the Let's Talk About Contributing videos, you can see we used to have a guest, right, where we invite people over to talk about, their journey into open source, how their contributions with Async API, and something like that, right, which is always fun. But today, as you can see, we don't have any guests, which is like crazy. And I'm like, so we thought about, because we already scheduled this talk, this live stream, then I don't just want it to just, probably like we should skip it or something. So I thought about, okay, why not just let me improvise, right? So I'm gonna be talking about Sync API and MQTT and how with these two powerful weapon, how I was able to power my virtual building, right? So this I'm not gonna call it a demo, but yeah, I just call it a demo. So this demo is gonna be something related to the a CKPI street like example, right? But this time we are gonna be like doing some real kind of real life implementation actually. So I really hope we have fun with this one. And yeah, so without no further ado, we will get into it. So I'm gonna start this stuff. Okay, we have a plans. Hi, Sobik. How you doing, man? Glad to see you here. This live stream was meant like it should have started for a while now, but some technical issues. I have to just know how technical issues sucks sometimes. So we are starting. So I'm gonna show you guys the buildings we have. And I'm gonna share my screen. Window Chrome tab. Yeah. So now we have this 3D environment, which is as you can see, it's just basically some buildings without power, right? So the main idea of these, I hope we can see my screen, right? So can you confirm if you can see my screen? Um, Let me know, Sovik, on the chats. Oh, cool. So we can see my screen, which is awesome. You can see the buildings, right? You can see three buildings. Ah, yeah, Lukash, I'm still there. I'm still here, man. So I have some technical issues, so I'm just getting started. Actually, so we're waiting for Sobik to confirm. Okay, cool. So we have these three buildings in which doesn't it looks really dark, right? So in order to make sense, we need to like power these buildings, right? We need light. There should be light, and I hope there will be light, right? So three buildings actually, yeah, dark buildings. So I'm gonna like okay. So now in order to power these buildings, we need to, like I said earlier, this example is gonna be related to the existing like example we have in the AsyncAPI studio, right? Uh, yes. So I don't know why I'm nervous, right? I think I'm nervous because maybe it wouldn't work, but I really hope it works. So in order to power this building, I said earlier we are going to like be using MQTT with Async API. So we're using the Async API to like document, and I think basically you're just gonna see how cool Async API is in this live stream, right? So first thing first, we have. I'm gonna change my screen to VS Code. Yeah, demos always fail. I pretty hope this one doesn't fail. I'm hoping this one doesn't fail. Okay, let's see. We're gonna share our VS Code. Yo, VS Code. Ah, can't share. Why? Permission? Come on. I don't need permission from you. Oh, this is weird. You need permission to share? Okay. Okay, let's see if we can update the permission. Uh, can't share. Okay, we are having some permission issues, so let's see how we can fix that. Mm, I hope there's some. I really wish there's some music like playing in background, you know, so we can rock. Why you guys watch me struggle, so you guys can listen to some music. System preferences. I don't know what this big deal with permission is. I have permission to share. This is weird. Okay. I really hate what is happening right now because I have no idea why Restream won't allow me share a window. Uh, this is really getting weird. I'm pretty annoyed. Okay, let's try that again. Share my window. Ah, update system permissions files. True recording for browser. Okay. Um, what's happening for Christ's sake? I've been through so much pain just to make this thing work, and now I'm stuck with Restream saying I don't have permission to share my screen. I just shared a, a browser tab right now. Okay, now I need some help. Let me reach out to Wakash. This live stream is already going bad. Oh god. No. Oh, you Wakash, really? You watching me suffer? Jesus. That's crazy. I really want this live stream to go well. that if you're currently watching this live stream, please hang in there, please. Just hang in there. Um, I'm battling restroom. Um, we getting some help. We are getting some help. I hope you are back up soon. This isn't going as expected. I never thought my problem would be eventually sharing my screen with restaurant. No, I wasn't expecting that. Just some random shits going on. Maybe I should restart my browser to see if maybe I can, get lucky. If you're watching this live stream, I really hope you're enjoying my struggles because I'm really struggling here. Uh, so I think help is coming. I was trying to share my VS Code, and all of a sudden, this stuff won't make me share. What a day! What a day to host a live stream. Okay, done. Uh, I'm waiting for Bukash to join the call to see. I'm hoping if I restart my browser, it would work. But now I'm not sure because if I restart my browser, I don't want the call to end because I'm pretty sure if I restart my browser, the stream is gonna end. Oh, really? Jesus. Bukash laptop just freezed, and now is the only help I'm getting so far. Guys, what a day! I guess the devil's lucky today. It's having fun. Uh, this is bad. This is really bad. I hope I don't get to like postpone this or maybe reschedule this stream later because firstly I suffered, with audio and now I'm suffering to sharing my screen. This is weird. What a day. Ah, okay. I think let me try something. I really hope this works. I don't know why. Restream sucks. It makes just comes up with stupid issues. Okay. Um, okay, let me restart the browser. Okay. Let's really hope it works this time. It should work. Oh no, it didn't work. This is annoying. Oh gosh. I don't know. This just make me share for Christ's sake. So just go. Hey man, I think you're mute.
Hey, yes,
Dude, I'm struggling for Christ's sake. I can't even share my screen.
I'm not sure though if I can help you. Like, so when you click on the share screen, instead of entire screen, you want to share just one application.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I also don't. So I have, but you don't see it on the list like VS Code, or you just can't.
it's yeah. I can see VS Code on the list. I can see all the windows. Now I select VS Code. Like I want to share, right? And I just get this error. Like I don't have permission to share. And in my settings, right, I have full permission. Like I enabled Windows browser Chrome to have access to screen recording. Everything needed is there. And for some reason, Restream saying I need to like update s- some settings or something. Please update system permission to allow screen recording for the browser, which is already allowed.
What did it? I mean, not necessarily. I guess it's different when you share tab and different when you share some application. So
Hmm.
in Mac you have this security crop. Um, Let me check. But did you try to just as a workaround share entire screen, not just VS Code?
No, I'm not sure that can work. Entire screen, dude, you'd be lost. Out. It's not even working.
What browser are you using?
I'm using Chrome.
Chrome. Okay, I'm on Brave, so it should be the same.
Hmm. Yeah, so I checked. It is like enabled, right? I gave VS Code permission, like full permission. I even gave Chrome permission, right? But for some reason, Restream couldn't just make that work. What a shitty day.
And it's not Monday, huh?
Not Monday.
I mean, I can share entire screen. Look,
Wait, I can't. Can you share a window?
yeah. Just which one is it? Yeah, this one, I think. Can you see it?
Crazy. I can't. I can see.
And you can see that when I just wanted to click on share, but it's shared already. How do you? I mean, I can share entire screen, but I'm gonna share you send you a screenshot of what I see when I click on share, because I want to make sure that you're seeing actually the same thing. Maybe it's actually different in. Yeah, I sent you a screenshot
On Slack?
on Slack. Use. So when I click on share button, that's what I see. Is this the same that you see? Like, do you have these three options?
Yeah.
Entire screen,
Yeah.
window. So why don't you use
Absolutely.
entire screen?
The same thing. I don't have access. It keeps saying I don't have access.
Ah, okay. So I thought it's only with VS Code, but you're like, okay. So it's
No,
for sure the privacy issues with the Mac. I just don't remember where to change them.
you sure?
Um,
Because now, okay, now because I have in the privacy settings in the Mac, right?
did you update
I have
Mac or something?
option. No, I didn't.
What option do you
I
have? You
can
say?
I can share Chrome tab, right? See,
Yeah, but again, like you said, part of the same app. So maybe that's
absolutely. But now what I can't do is share. I can't share window tab an entire screen. And what I have here, right, in my preference, is I have access to share it, right? Because now I have that button, like ability to share. But for some reason, it's like restroom isn't picking the settings or something. Maybe I should restart my laptop.
did you ever successfully share it on Restream?
I think this is my first time sharing screen on Restream, right?
Ah,
But I do
okay.
share screen on Zoom and Meets.
Yeah, yeah, but it's a different application. It's Zoom then, right?
Isn't it working on the same browser?
I mean, you give, as far as I know, you give permission per application.
Hmm.
Uh, Jesus, where is it? I don't. Suvik, you know what it is? I don't remember. Crap.
Privacy. What is settings? Screen recording. Dude,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have.
So you go to security and privacy, then you go to privacy, and then there's screen recording, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and what do you have in screen recording? What apps? Do you have
I
Chrome
have
browser?
absolutely.
Okay, so Chrome is there on the list of screen recording allowed apps,
Yeah.
and it's ticked.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
then it's weird.
Really weird. Now, what's crazy is basically today is weird, right?
I mean, if you want, I can stay here, entertain people before you restart your Mac. That's the last thing you can try.
Okay, let's try it. So just stay here and
I
have fun.
Yeah, I can still be here like 1 hour. So you have 1 hour to restart your laptop.
Restarted.
So, Suvik, how you doing, man? Boom, 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 boom. Is there anyone watching anyway? Like, do you have some questions? I can answer any question. Like, what's the purpose of life? Um, will Trump won election? Um, and other easier questions. Gdzie się podziały tamte prywatki, gdzie te dziewczyny? GitHub Actions are thing. I think they're GitHub Action. GitHub. I think they don't work. Do you have issues with GitHub now, folks? No, it's all green. So why you didn't trigger my workflow? Something ain't right with GitHub. Oh, we have Mr. Aziz joining.
Oh,
What up? Does it work? Because looking at your
moment
face,
of
you look
truth, mate.
disappointed.
Moment of truth. It worked. Restart.
Like the old rule, like reboot always solves the problem. Okay.
Whoa!
Am
Damn
am
it.
I dismissed? Can I go, sir?
Absolutely.
Good luck, mate.
Yeah,
And by
sure.
the way,
Now,
if you had technical issues with sharing screen, that it means you're gonna have even more issues probably with the demo, right?
yeah, of course.
Good luck.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so I'm back. You see? Yeah, so I'm sorry for the absolutely crazy moment. Um, you know, as you can see, I really hope the demo doesn't go wrong, right? So as you can see, I think we've spent close to 30 minutes, yeah, solving technical issue. Really weird. So without no further ado, we're gonna just get started. So yes, on screen again. I think this is Windows. Yeah, so I have my screen, which is fun. I really hope you can see my screen. And you can see, then I have my client, which is basically where the app is, running the code, right? So I'm not gonna walk you guys through the source code of the client. Um, I don't think we should worry about that. I think what we are actually going to do. So I'm gonna start the clients. My oh, so now I'm running my clients. That's the building, of course. And yeah, we have the building. So just in case, I'm gonna show you what the building looks like. Okay. As you can see, this is what the building looks like. We have this 3D environment of three houses, which eventually, like you can see, has no power. And the goal of this live stream is eventually to power these buildings, right? Using AsyncAPI and event with MQTT. So let's get right into it because we've wasted enough time. So we're gonna just start going straight to business, no funny jokes. Now, first thing first that we have to do is eventually start writing. Um, our AsyncAPI file because then I can start explaining what we are trying to like achieve, right? So first thing we need to create our AsyncAPI file, right? Instead of our virtual house folder. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing the VS Code. Going back and forth sharing screens. Yeah, so we have to create our sync API file, which is like the first thing, the first step. This is our sync API file. Come over here. Hold on. So in our sync API file, first thing we want to do is so if you're not familiar with the sync API file, I would definitely recommend visit the sync API website to learn more eventually about to learn more about sync API. So sharing the link on the charts. So yeah, so first and first, we need to define our sync API file because eventually our server-side code would eventually be generated using this sync API file, of course. So the first thing I'm going to do is say sync API. Yeah, which is actually indicating I'm using sync API with the version I'm using. So for this tutorial, I'm using 2.5. Yeah, then the next thing we are going to define is the information. So we have the info objects. It's basically just information about our application, right? So it takes a title. I hope you guys can see my screen. So we can you confirm you can see my VS Code very well. That's if so we on the call. Okay, I'm gonna confirm that myself. No, no, no. We need to find a better way to like zoom on VS Code. How can I make this bigger? Yeah, I think it's bigger like this or like this. It is very small. Okay, let me see. Let me increase the size. Is it better? I think it's better this way. Okay, how can I remove the chart? Chart overlay. Now it's better. Okay, so awesome. Thanks for the heads up. Now we need to continue, describing our CKPI file. Then we have to define the title of our application. So we're just gonna call it, let's say, building our building. No, let's just say house lights. I just call it house lights. Actually, we needed lights in our house. Uh, then we have to describe a version of our application. So let's just say version one. Let's call it version one. So you can. So the next thing we want to do is description. We have to describe our application, like give the description of our app. Description. Let's call it outside. No, let's give it a much more meaningful name. Power in our house. Our houses, which is a KPI. Let's call it this way. It says so. Come on. Oh, so I'm a big fan of JSON, so not the YAML fan. So why am I having this overlay? So, anyways, now we need to go to the next thing, which is eventually our license. So we have to like specify we have a license for this. I don't think this is actually like required, but yeah, it makes sense to like do it. So name of our license, let's say we're using the Apache 2.0. And yeah, the URL. This one I'll use selection. Yeah, so we have our the information about our application, as you can see. Um, and we also have the AsyncAPI version we're using, which is awesome. Then the next thing we want to do is our server. We have to define our server. We have to provide information about our server, right? So next step, the next step now is to create our servers, right? Now, what kind of server we're using, we can eventually, so let's just call this a development server because you're not doing any production stuff. So we're just gonna call it development. Development server. Uh, I hope I'm not mixing up any charts. Okay. Development server. Now, the next thing we have to do is the URL of our server. Where is it? So now we're actually using the test. I'm gonna copy the code, the test.mosquito.org, which is publicly available. So you can eventually like check it out. And now we have to specify our protocol, right? So as you can see from the title of this call of this live stream, is we're saying it's an API and MQTT. So eventually using Mosquito. So we specify we're using MQTT and yeah, description of our broker, right? Description. I'm not missing things out. So we just say Mosquito broker. So for now, it's simple. So next thing we want to do is I don't know if but let's just do it, just like make it more better or more advanced. No, let me say enhanced, right? So we have Discord variables where we have like parts the ports, right? And I just describe part of description also. So in order to learn more about how to like write your API file, you should go to the API website slash docs. So we have tons of amazing docs, right, which you can eventually learn from. So just go there and learn more about how to like write your API file. So we have a description. So it's not only a secure connection. Let's say to mosquito. And the next thing we have to do, just pass in the default ports. And I think the reason why I feel I'm doing this is eventually because um, if you don't want to use a test mosquito URL, right? Maybe you want to like set up your mosquito locally, which is something I could have done, right? But I'm using the test mosquito URL simply because I'm having trouble, because Mosquito doesn't work like directly with the browser, right? Then MQTT doesn't work directly with the browser, so you have to like do some magic, like serving MQTT over WebSocket, right? And I was having trouble, setting that up locally, and for some reason it wasn't working. So I decided to like go with the test Mosquito URL. So just in case you're setting it up locally, then you would have want to specify the ports, right? And I think this is the default port, this is 183. Now, the next thing we want to do right now is channels, right? And the channels is gonna be fun because now this is where we start thinking how we want our street light to work. But that's some functionalities we're gonna need, right? For our street light to like eventually function. I keep saying street light, so because this project idea was actually from a street light example, right? So let's go to the next step, which is channels. Now, within channels, some other people might know it as spot topic, right? So it goes by different names, right? Well, I think channels is what I will be using. So we have channels. Now, the first channel we are going to like have is going. So we're gonna have three channels. Actually, we're gonna have three channels. Um, the first channel will be unit balance requester. And what this actually does is a channel where we're going to use request the amount of units each building has left, right? So I'm basically connected to unit balance requester, and we're gonna have another channel called unit balance responder. So I'm gonna go in depth on why we're using these names, and also just because it's gonna be easy for you to like understand. So we're gonna have unit balance requester, we're gonna have unit balance responder, and we're gonna have another channel name called unit balance of data. So for the sake of this demo or live stream, we're gonna use just three channels, and yeah, you're gonna see how we are going to like implement this thing with our building, right? So we're gonna have three channels, and the first channel is unit balance requester, right? Yep. So we need like part of description, right? Description which actually describe what this channel is all about. So this is gonna be this description is what can we call it? Let's say this channel basically handles the amounts. Basically, no, let's say basically request for the amounts of units left uh, in the building. Let's say the building. Um, Now we have the description. Now what we want to do now is basically, uh, I don't think we have to like pass the parameter. I think that is necessary, right? Yeah. So what we're gonna do now is I don't think it's like use a parameter. The next thing we want to do is what does this channel actually does? Like what action does it trigger? Is it publish? Is it subscribe? Right? But as you can see, you say unit balance requester. This sounds like a publish request to me, right? Okay, now this is where it's kind of confusing, even to me personally. When I write a single API file, I'm always confused when to use publish, when to use subscribe. Now I'm gonna explain that here now. So we have, you can say when I say we have a publish. Now, initially, if you have to like maybe uh, understand it, because it also confuses me sometimes when I say when should I use publish, when should I use subscribe, right? And as you can see now, I'm saying unit balance requester, which basically says I'm requesting something, which means my application should subscribe to somewhere, right? Because I'm trying to say, hey, tell me how much I have left, right? Which basically sounds like a subscribe function, like a subscribe action for me, right? So which saying, I want something. I want you to give me the remaining balance of a building, right? I'm not sending a message, right? It's basically saying I'm listening to a message, right? So basically, it sounds like you subscribe, but the way AsyncAPI works is not like you have to like list like I'm trying to like break it down, right? You have to like take it the other way around, right? That's why we have published. Now, whenever you are in a position where you feel you are supposed to be receiving something, right? So you're waiting for you like we have it shared out. You need to balance request. You're requesting for something, which eventually sounds like you should be subscribing to that channel so that the channel can give you a data back and feedback, right? So now what happens is you have to like specify in your CKPI file that that should be a published message, right? A published action. Simply because your app or from whatever because you're saying now, right? You requested for something, but something I know it sounds so complicated, right? Now, even me when I'm trying to like explain it, I'm always like confused. But now, what I'm trying to say now is whenever you see a publish in the HTTP file, it basically means right your application is gonna subscribe to this channel, right? So we have unit balance requester, which simply means my application or my building or whatever application I'm using is gonna have to like subscribe to this channel. which means yeah, I'm requesting for a data, so I'm subscribing to it. When the data is available in that channel, I'm receiving it, and that's why we have this publish share, because I would eventually like publish a message there so that my application can receive it. So we have a publish action in the unit balance requester, and we have to like um, pass extend these publish objects by passing a summary. So which basically explains what this channel is for, right? Okay, so these triggers. So we're going to choose the amount of okay, let's amount of units left in the building. So I'm requesting for a balance for units, right? Uh, Next thing we gonna have here is the oh sorry operation ID. I'm just gonna call this balance requester. That's I'll eventually call this operation ID, whatever it is you like, but we're gonna stick to calling it balance requester, right? Um, the next thing would eventually like I think are we done? Yeah, so the message. Oh, how can I miss that? The message it's which is gonna be saying what kind of message does this channel like has um so because we have three channels, right? And sometimes this channel is gonna have like these channels might share similar messages, right? So I don't want to like duplicate like okay, are you gonna this is a live stream, so why not just have fun instead of like shorting something? So what I'm gonna do is this. Now I have a message and message has a name. Let's say let's call this uh, light message. Let's just call this light message. Now this is like the message which is like message. Uh, no, not like message. Message. It takes a name. Message name. Sorry, I can't understand. Message name. Let's say lights balance requester. Ah, this is going this sync API. The name, then the description. Oh, the name, the title, light. I spelling light correctly. Like balance requester. Then the summary, about message. Okay, so this is not the right summary to use. What can I do? Uh, the right summary. Summary. Okay, the summary of the message, right? Let's just say requests. Request balance. Request balance message. That's the name of our message, right? Then the next thing we have to do, ah, message spelled wrongly. Then the next thing we have to do is define the payload, right? What type of message are we sending or receiving in whatever case? And we say the type of message we are using for now is just a string. We are not sending anything complicated. String. Oh, that is our message for now. Yeah, so we have our first channel, right? Which is a publish, which is called unit balance requester, which is which is published, which has a publish action or publish payload rather. Now, what we want to do next is create or define our second channel. So we can just copy this, paste it, right? Oh yeah. Description. So we have to call this. So we said the first channel is called unit balance requester. Then the second channel will be called unit balance responder, which responds responder. Oh fuck, I'm dehydrated. Ah, oh, I die. Okay, so let's say this channel basically responds. Okay, left here. Oh, dude. Building. Yeah, so now as you can see, like if we have the third channel, now this is the file is gonna just gonna get long and it's not gonna be readable as much as I think. But now we have this additional payload called components, right? Now what this component does is basically it basically makes your AsyncAPI file more readable because now you can just have all your message payload in the components, then you can use the ref uh, and tag to actually just link the ref dollar sign or the dollar sign with ref to just eventually link to the message from the component, right? So what I'm gonna do now is to make this easier, right? I'm gonna create a component, which is called components, and I'm gonna say messages. Now this is the message component. And what I can do here from these messages is just I'm just saying, okay, whatever message is related to unit balance requester, I'm just gonna create it. So I'm gonna say unit balance requester. I think requester is okay, like unit balance requester. So this is our first message. Then I'm gonna pass the payload of that message here. So we have the message, the name, title, payload, all this stuff. I'm gonna cut it and just paste it here. Okay, what's happening? Mapping. Okay, what's happening? Mapping, huh? If from here. So what I'm going to do now is to make a reference to that component from message, right? So for the message of that part, what I have to do is just say dollar sign, then ref, and link to where the component, the message component, the message payload is in the component, right? So I just have to say do this, then specify components, then slash messages, then uh, uh, now this link this URL here can actually link to maybe you have your component hosted somewhere else on the internet, right? You can eventually just link to it, right? You can just link there. So what I'm gonna do is sorry. Great. So what I'm gonna do is because since I have my components in the same file as my AsyncAPI file, that's why I'm basically using this hash stuff here and then messages. Then I'm gonna say want to like use this message here, this message object. Then I just select my message object. Now we have access to this with this code here, right? We have access to this message payload. Okay, now we are getting an error which is saying nested mappings are allowed in compact mappings. What am I doing wrong? Uh, we have components. have messages. And then we have which one? We have name. Hmm. First thing. Okay, something is going on. We filling something. Oh, yeah. Not there. So I'm gonna copy this and see what is happening. Studio. This is gonna be a long live stream. Hey, says title. Hmm. What is going on? Ah, sorry. Found it. So the structure of my unit balance payload requester is wrong, right? So I have to shift it back. Okay. Yeah, works. So we have our first message components, right? Which is unit balance requester, which is related to the unit balance requester, of course. Now we need to also create our message payload for unit balance responder, right? But seems to me like everything like it's looks similar, right? It's just the description that I feel will be different. And I think for the sake of this live stream, right, I feel maybe we should um, hmm, um, hmm, okay, I'm checking if we should just reuse the same thing, right? Okay, so no, we are not gonna use the same thing because I don't think it's similar, right? I don't think it's similar in this balance request. So let's just create another message builder, right, for responder message. So let's just copy this and create a new message. That's unique balance responder. Oh, responder. And we gonna paste this here and we're gonna modify it. So any name to unique balance responder message, right? So we have a title, responder, unique balance, respond balance message. Okay, respond balance message. So we have the respond balance message, just trying to ensure it is working as expected. Um, yeah, okay. I think I need to pass content type, right? Just to, I don't want to break anything. Content type. Just another application. That's purchase. Then we can just copy this. And, oh, this is here. Now, on the unit balance responder, I feel the message payload shouldn't be a string, right? And I think that's the main reason why I didn't want to reuse the same message, right? Because this message, right, is the payload is just a string based on the implementation, right? What we're going to be implementing. Was I'm saying, oh, I'm requesting a balance, right? And from whatever building I'm requesting a balance from, right? I think the only thing I should be using as a message is just a building ID, which would eventually return as a string, right? But you need balance responder now isn't going to be a string, right? The message type can't be a string. So it should be an object, right? Because now we are expecting two things, the building ID and the units, right? Now we're turning just to data. So it can't be a string, it has to be a JSON object. It has to be an object because we're expecting two things. So you have to like modify this type to say object. So this is an object. So what we have now, we are going to extend. We're going to extend this in balance responder a bit further, right? So instead of just stopping here, we're going to extend it. But since we are receiving an object, then we need to like pass in some properties just to ensure the rights we are receiving the right message payload, right? So we're gonna have a new property or properties. Yeah. So properties and let's say we're gonna have building ID as the first property because yeah, like I said earlier, we are gonna be expecting two messages, right? Which is the building ID and the unit remainder. So building ID has to have a type of integer, which is an integer. Then we have the next property. So if we can pass a description or yeah, it's just for fun. Let's have description building unique identifier. Then the next property we're gonna have is called so we have the building ID. So the next thing we're gonna have is gonna be called units, right? So we can call it units. Yeah, because we're having many units. We're gonna have the units, units, the type. So I think the unit should be an integer also because the video will eventually be sending the remaining watts. So it should be an integer. Then description. Oh, we have a big AsyncAPI file. Let's just put in units. Now we have our unit balance responder, right? So I think we are done. Oh, we still have one more channel to like create, which is the we haven't even have make a reference for the message payload. So better to do that to just copy this and paste it. But now we have to change the type of message, right? So the message is unit balance responder. Oh, now we have the unit balance spellings responder. Yeah, yeah. So we have the unit balance responder, and now we have one more channel to describe, which is the units. Is it, so the one that publishes the one that actually updates the buildings with a new units, right? So basically, when our service actually receive the remaining balance from the buildings, right? We want to update the units that want to update the remaining balance to a new figure, right? Maybe the building eventually sends. Let's say the building says, "Oh, I have just 90 watts remaining," right? Then I have to like update the watts to 89, right? So say, oh, now you have 89 watts. Then I receive a new one, say, oh, I have 89 watts left. So what I'm doing is every second, I want to update, I want to reduce from each building the current amount of units left, right? So in order to do that, in order to do that, right, once I have the remaining units from each building, what I want to do now is remove one. They say, oh, you've used one unit out of the remaining units I received from you. Now this is your new unit that we publish the new units, and that is what this channel will be doing, which is going to be. And I don't think this should. Okay, we'll say we have two units to publish. Okay. Um, I think we missed something, guys. So I think we made a mistake because this should be a subscribe. It should be a subscribe, not a publish, because I mentally say this channel basically requests for the amount of units left simply because the app is actually listening, like subscribe to a particular the client subscribes to this unit balance requester to request for the remaining units, right? So it should be a subscribe, not a publish. Now this publishes, then the next, let's just copy this and paste it, and we're gonna modify it. Um, so it's just as in space. Just in case. So unit balance of data. I think I'm going to create a separate video, explaining the whole concept of publish and subscribe. Yes, because I think that would be really helpful because sometimes it confuses me. So I know I'm not alone. So this channel, that's in the description. This channel basically updates the amount of units left. Units left in building. Yep. So this, sorry. So this is gonna be a subscribe um, action, not a pop. Oh, sorry, what is? This is gonna be a subscribe action. We're subscribing because basically our app is gonna be listening if there is a new unit, right? Which means our app is gonna subscribe to this particular channel. No, this is gonna publish. Like I said earlier, because I said something that I also find this confusing, right? Because this unit balance of data is gonna be sending a message, right, with the new units, with the new balance remaining for a particular building. Then our app is gonna be subscribing to it. And now, like I said earlier, so it depends on where how you're viewing the application from that determines what we are gonna have in this. Um, that's gonna determine if this would be a publish or a subscribe, right? Now, I'm viewing my application from the client side, right? Now, as I can see from the client side, I'm saying unit balance of data. My client listens if there's a new balance, a new unit left, or maybe if the server actually like publishes, say, oh, you have a new unit, your new unit is there tonight, which means my client is actually subscribed to this particular channel to see if there's a new unit. So from the server, it's gonna publish a message, and from the client, I'm subscribing to a message, right? So we have a subscribe here, a subscribe action. This triggers the amount of units left. This triggers the new. This triggers an update of a new units. Building. Two building. So this could be fine. Okay. I think I missed the charts. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. So since this unit balance of data is so I didn't change the operation ID. Just saw this responder. I suck at spelling. Balance responder. Let's just say balance of data. So we have the operation ID different. So Our operation ID is balance of data. Then the message. Now this is gonna share the same message as the unit balance responder, right? Simply because when you publish, like when you have a new unit, right? You have to identify two things, right? The building ID, that's the building in which you want to publish a new unit to, and also the units, right? So how many units left? So and it seems they have it shares the same messages, the same message with the unit balance responder. So we are gonna use the same message payload. So we don't have to rewrite the message. And I think that's one of the cool things about the components payload, because now you can use the same, if you have some similarities in the payload, you can just basically use it without having to repeat yourself. And I think that is all we have. We have all three channels: unit balance requester, unit balance responder, and unit balance of data. Now we have these three channels. So what we're gonna do now is basically we have to like generate some code, right? Now we're gonna be generating a Node.js code based on our AsyncAPI file. So, and one of the coolest thing about this is basically once I generate my code, I don't have to like worry about how MQTT works, what I setting up MQTT or some configurations or stuff, right? All I just have to do, all I just have to focus on is basically the business logic, right? What I'm trying to like achieve with this implementation. Now I need to generate a server, my SyncAPI file. I say I need to generate a code based on my SyncAPI file. And in order to do that, I'll be using the SyncAPI generator. So if you don't have the SyncAPI generator, you have to like install it globally in order to like use it. And now I already have this thing installed, so I won't be doing it again. And yeah, so I hope you can see this tab. Okay. Now what I have to do now is just say, now as you can see I'm in the root directory, right? I'm in the root directory and I have my SyncAPI YAML file, I have my client folder. Yeah, so I have like I want my server code to like also live in the root directory. Now what I'm gonna do is say AJ, this is the command for me to generate my Node.js code, which is generator, which is SyncAPI generator. And I also have a video coming up about generator, and I think that should be fun. Now AG, I have to specify where my SyncAPI file is. SyncAPI.yaml, which is in the root file. And yeah, I have to like specify the kind of template I want to use. Like I said, I want to generate a Node.js code. I have to like say SyncAPI slash Node.js. I think I'm right. I think it should be, yeah, Node.js template. SyncAPI has tons of templates, that you can generate, which is SyncAPI file, right? You can generate Node.js template, you can generate Node.js WebSocket, HTML, Markdown, or sort of stuff. Like a really cool tool. You should give it a try. So I'm gonna specify the port. I'm gonna say, yeah, we fully have a production server. Um, yeah, server equals. I think yeah, we have just production. So you can have multiple servers, right? Which is cool. So now, as you can see, earlier one server is here defined, so I'm going to use it. So development server, development. So and the output is going to be, oh sorry, the output is going to be in a folder called server. So I need to commit my change in order for this to like generates. Else it's not gonna. I think I hope I'm right. Then yeah, everything is okay. It should work. Ah, we got an error. Oh, not version 2.5.0. Oh, because that is the latest. Oh, what? Oh, an error first. First big error. We have a very big error. So it says 2.5.0. 4. I don't know why it's saying it's not supported. Okay, are we first big error? Jeez, I think we have some problems with our CPI file, and I think that's one of the coolest thing, right? In generator, you can't generate code if your CPI file is having some problems. So let's see what's the errors are. Something went wrong. Oh, should not that server should have required href. Well, the server should have required href. I'm not sure why. Okay, I'm gonna test this file. I'm gonna copy it and see what I have in my studio. It's longer than expected. Okay, now let's try that again. I think there's some misconfiguration. Ah, we're getting errors. 2.5. Why is 2.5 not supported? Generator. I think that's the latest release. Oh, sorry, I have to commit my changes before. Okay, let's just delete this folder. I could just make it work with phosphorus, dash with the first flag. I don't want to do that. Ooh, my code is generating. Let's really hope it works. Ah, it works. Awesome. So I think the reason why it didn't work before was because I have some misconfigurations. So I was able to copy the AsyncAPI file and take it to Studio to correct it. So if you don't know what Studio is, I'm gonna show you Studio. So Studio is a studio. No, just joking. So Studio is a playground where you can, try out your AsyncAPI file, and it also like generates document like a real time document, a real time documentation for your code, right? Just for you to like walk through to see what you're doing. And I'm gonna show you how what Studio looks like in a few seconds. Yeah, Studio. So this is the script Studio, and you can see my script file here in Studio, and we have this documents. As you can see, the payload we have really nice UI, readable UI, which I believe is also using the Sync API generator to generate Markdown. Oh, sorry, HTML templates, as you can see here. Yeah, which is fun. Stop sharing. Now we have our Sync API folder. It's already generated the server code, and as you can see here. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen. Yeah, so we've generated our server code from our AsyncAPI file. So we have the imbalance requester, imbalance of responder, imbalance of data. We have our message payload. Yeah, we basically have our AsyncAPI file working. Now, what we want to do next is basically install. So we have to like change directory into server, right? Then we have to like do npm install just to install all necessary packages. Yeah. So install. Then let's say npm run start to see if everything is fine. As you can see, up and running. So our Node.js code is up and running, which is the right step into the moment of truth. So the next thing we have to do now is to start implementing, communicating. Did I say communicating? Yeah, whatever. So we're gonna stop this. Now what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna hide this for now. Now I'm gonna open um, my clients, my app folder, and yeah. So I'm thinking this live stream is get along, right? Maybe I should make it like create it in two parts where this is the first part, then I do have a second part of this live stream where I implement the second part, right? Where I start communicating from client and server, right? Where I start doing the implementation, or I could just do it in a long live stream. Let's see. So Vic, if you're there, what do you think? Should I make a second part or actually just keep going in this live stream? I'm like it's getting too long. Okay, saying if Sovik is there or whoever is watching. Uh, okay, just saying if we get any response, maybe we should create a second part for this live stream. Uh, yeah, as you can see, we haven't fun so far, even though we have some technical issues from the beginning of this live stream, which sounds kind of hard, right? So I don't want it to be really long, like just having the whole live stream in just one long um, video. So maybe I should just stop this live stream, to the second part in a different live stream. I would just say, I'm skipping MQTT part one and skipping MQTT part two. Let's see. Um, okay, let me actually do that. Okay, so I think um, I'm gonna split this live stream into two, right? So I create the first part now, and I'm gonna create the second part, which is where I start implementing my buildings. I start powering my buildings with this with CPI Node.js code. I generate that the code I generated based on a single API file in Node.js, right? So and yeah, basically, so I'll be implementing the business logic around these projects. So yeah, I think that makes more sense instead of having everything in just one live stream. Because yeah, I'm really dehydrated as oh yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I really hope it's not going to like break. Yeah. All right. Have fun, guys. So see you guys in the part two of this live stream. Uh, yeah. So